Hey everybody, it's Tim Baldermann. I'd like to welcome you to this edition of Too Honest for Social Media, where we talk about local, county, state, federal issues, things that are impacting us here in New Lenox and well beyond. I'm honored today to have a couple of great guests. They are with the Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County. The Veterans Assistance Commission is a state-mandated, county-funded independent agency under the direction of nonpartisan commission composed of local veterans. It was established to provide direct and indirect services to veterans and their families, and there is never a charge to the veteran or to their family members. So joining me today are Mark and Larry. Mark, you want to go ahead and start us off? Introduce yourself.
I'm Mark Riasney. I'm Vice President of the Veterans Commission. I'm a Coast Guard veteran and a member of the American Legion Post here in town. The Legion Post and the VFWs all in the county each designate a representative to the commission, and that's how I became part of the commission. I was appointed by our Legion to the commission and then elected by the commission as vice president.
That's great. When were you appointed?
This is my third year.
Okay, third year. Oh, great. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate everything that the Post and does in town, that everyone does for us here with our veterans. Between our VFW and our American Legion, we've got some great veterans here in our community, and they do a lot, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, Larry, go ahead.
Hi, my name's Larry Shaver. I'm the president of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County. I've been with them off and on probably for 25 years or so. I got really involved about 2022 again, and have been heavily involved ever since. I'm a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Vietnam service, and we're here to take care of veterans and make the county aware of, and our citizens out there, of what we can provide for them.
It's fantastic. First of all, obviously, before we go any further, I want to thank both of you gentlemen for your service to our country. And it is often your generation that not only provided such great service to our country, but you're the ones that continue to give well beyond your military service to your communities. So thank you for what you do here and close to here, and certainly what you do for the commission.
Thank you.
I had an opportunity to be at the ribbon cutting for the new location that you have. So why don't you talk a little bit about that location and how that came to be, where it's located?
Absolutely. Well, the county bought the building in 2017 from the old Silver Cross Hospital ownership, and the building was fairly new at the time. I think it's only was about 20 years old or so. And so they actually bought it for the Veterans Assistance Commission because we were renting space from the Bay organization. And so it kind of sat dormant there for about 5 years, and not much was done about it. And finally in 2022, when we reorganized the VAC and brought on new people and started the journey to where we are today, we started working toward getting that building renovated and finding the resources to do it and getting it done. And that came about the first part of this year, in January, February.
Yeah, it was a great
Awesome.
dedication. It was really, really nice.
Thank
You got to
you.
be pretty impressed with the new building, right?
Very happy with it.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit of what happens there. It says you've got staff members include mental health professionals, federally certified veteran service officers. What are some of the things that they can do? Let's start there. Mental health obviously is something that affects so many people, whether they're veterans or not, in the world today. But certainly being, whether you're in active service or whether you saw military action or did not, being away from your family, and then of course some of the things that you can see, which are just so horrific,
Yes, sir.
can really affect mental health for veterans. So talk a little bit about what's available in the mental health services.
Well, we have a professional counselor on staff, a licensed counselor. Then we also have different peer support programs based on what the specific needs of the veteran are, that others maybe with the same thing can get together, be with each other, receive kind of peer guidance and counseling as to with whatever issues they may be facing. Just coming, if you do a 20 or 30 year career in the military, you're going to have coming to civilian life is a big change. You don't live on a base with everybody you work with. You need to decide every morning what you're going to, wear and what you're going to do for kind of the rest of your life. And those are some big decisions, and sometimes it's not the easiest transition. So our people are there to kind of support them and kind of walk them through that process.
That's so critical. I'm sure you're obviously both familiar with the Warriors Walk, and there are a lot of groups that 22 veterans a day, unfortunately, succumb to the struggles that they face with PTSD and other issues and commit suicide. And right here at home, I know we've got so many great veterans that pitch in to bring awareness to that. So we know that this is a reality. If somebody needs that kind of if a veteran needs that kind of mental health support service, or even the peer support that you talk about, how do they go about getting that from the commission?
They can walk right into our office or call our office. Our numbers are on the internet. We have a website under Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County. We have phone numbers there that they can go through. They could actually start it by using the Veterans Administration's crisis line, and they could start that way, or they can come directly into the office during the working hours. We're open from 8:30 to 4:30, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and every veteran or his family is welcome to walk in.
So they can be seen pretty quickly if they feel like they're in crisis.
Yeah, if they're in crisis, we can get to them as just ASAP.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, and there are so many veterans here in Will County.
There are,
and so
over
many
26,000.
26,000 right here in Will County.
Yes, sir.
So even if just a portion of them need that support, that's a big number, though.
It is.
That's a really big number. So if someone needs some ongoing support with their mental health, you address the crisis situation.
Absolutely.
And then what happens from there? Either one.
Then
Go ahead.
They're going to make a decision. They're going to talk to licensed professionals who can do that. They're going to make a decision and work with them on exactly what it is they need, and either through the VA itself, through other community organizations, like the money from Warriors Walk you mentioned goes to support a counseling program and everything. So if it's going to take them too long to get into the VA program and they need help now, they can refer them to one of those not-for-profit programs that are funded by something like Warriors Walk or one of the Tunnel of Towers or any of those other organizations, and get them immediate help that way.
Great.
So we don't just handle cases and say, okay, we're going to fill out the paperwork and send you off to the VAC. We're going to find whatever the best answer for you that is available for that individual.
So it's really very personalized.
Yes, it's 100%.
That's amazing. I mean, and let's face it, obviously our physical health is incredibly important, but our mental health, there's nothing more important than that.
Absolutely. Being a combat veteran myself, I can attest to that.
I'm sure you can.
Yep.
I'm sure you can. All right, you do so many other things. Of course, that is critical. You've got in this new location not only the mental health services, food bank in a gym.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about the other services that are provided there at this new location.
Well, we have veteran service officers on staff that take appointments and do the paperwork. They not only help the veteran through the process, but they file the paperwork directly with the VA and get the ball rolling and get them whatever they're due in benefits or help or loans, whatever their situation might be. They will find a solution for it. And if we can't do it, we'll find somebody that can.
You'll find someone that can.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you've got food banks there too, right? So
We do.
You can help. I mean, times are tough for everybody.
Yes, they are.
And even if you're mentally healthy and physically healthy, even quality employment is hard to find. Is that something that you can help veterans with?
We have Will County's workforce operations in the same building that we are now, and we can refer anybody that's looking for employment or job training or anything in that respect. We can refer them upstairs to the next floor above us and get somebody to help them out in those areas as well.
Yeah, that's critically important.
Absolutely, you got to feed your family.
Yeah, it's really tough. And again, if you are struggling mentally and emotionally, that's even a bigger drain that it puts on if you have that family. And you made a great point when you talked about that, Mark, that adjusting to civilian life is difficult, I'm sure. Now, if you're still young enough, because if you enlist at 18, even if you do 20 years, you're 38, you're still a young person needing to get out there and work. That's got to be a tough transition, right? Getting into the workforce like that.
A lot of people struggle because it's just a whole different, career path. And you do anything for 20 years, it's a force of habit. It takes a lot to change.
Sure. Yeah.
I can give you an example.
Sure.
We had about 3 weeks ago, actually the service officer for the New Lenox Legion Post was out in Joliet and at another event encountered a homeless veteran. And he saw his Legion hat and just began talking to him and asking for assistance. Our Legion Post member gave me a call and I said, call the VAC, see what time they can get him in and get him started in the process. They were able to take him in immediately, so he drove him over there, got him through paperwork with us. When they finished that, they walked him upstairs to the third floor to Workforce Services. They lined him up with some places to go to put in a job application, and they were hoping to have him working within, the next few week or so.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So now you can also help try and find some temporary shelter until they can get on.
They'll
their
do
feet?
whatever they can to try and meet that needs and keep them, keep people off the street, or even for people who, are on the street, we sometimes, usually have some clothing or maybe some soap and other, self-care items that they can need.
Sure.
That we'll give to them for free, and it's some people, because of certain reasons, are reluctant to go into shelters.
Sure.
They want to live on their own. We can at least give them a little stuff to support them and let them know, hey, this door's always open for you.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Tell me a little bit more about what you guys do. It says here you provide oversight of programs and budgets. As you talked about, you're appointed by your veterans organizations. Do you feel, and I know this is a tough one, do you feel like the state and the country are doing enough to provide services for our veterans that have done so much?
Well, sir, I'd like to say they're 100%, but you know as well as I do, there's no 100% when it's into that kind of a thing. We are, over the last 50 years, we have reformed the VA through veterans efforts, veterans organizations like the American Legion and the VFW and Disabled American Veterans have done a tremendous job of getting the politicians in Washington, D.C. especially, to start taking care of the veterans from the Vietnam War and then the Desert Storm, and now, of course, the war on terrorism. That's been going on now for 25 years, 24 years. And it's a never-ending battle. So, but I use the VA myself. I'm a 100% disabled veteran from the military, and I can say firsthand they do a 80% to 90% better job now than they did 50 years ago, or even 60 years ago. Our hospital facilities in the VA are much better. The staff is much better. There's never enough. And we were hurt a little bit by the Doge. It did us a little harm because it kind of backfired a little bit on what it was intended to do, but we're still persevering. We have a lot of great doctors and nurses and mental health people that go through school and go through the military or go through civilian education and then come to the VA to hone their trade, and we're getting a high grade of doctors and nurses that are really there and appreciate the job that they've got, and they try to do the best.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I mean, nothing's going to be perfect, but
No, sir.
But when we talk about where we should be dedicating our resources, the people who provide the very freedom that we have, that, defend our Constitution, I think they should be at the top of the list, making sure that we're taking care of them. And it can be frustrating when you see tax dollars being spent on others and not being spent on those who have sacrificed so much for our country. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yes, it is, and I think that a lot of that came about because of we didn't have wars for, from 70, 73, 74 up until 1990, 91. We were in that area of just skirmishes around the world and things. We didn't have a all-out war going on, and a lot of the politicians in Washington, I believe, forgot the fact that it takes veterans to keep our freedom.
100%.
It takes active duty military, which become veterans, and without them, our country goes down the drain.
100%. I mean, that's it. Since the very beginning of our country, since its inception, it has been then brave men and now brave men and women that sacrifice so much. And like I said in the beginning of the podcast, it's not just those that are maybe in a skirmish or in a war, just the traumatic, willing to say, I'm going to leave my family so I can defend my country, so I can defend the Constitution. That takes tremendous sacrifice. That's an awful lot. And so
Yes.
Should absolutely be at the top. Now, I bang Illinois all the time for some of the horrible legislation and the horrible things that happen here, but we have to give credit where credit is due. And when I talk to veterans, they kind of feel like Illinois is, as far as the states in the country go, does pretty well by the veterans. Would you agree with that, Mark?
We have some good programs here. There is a lot of stuff. A lot of it, though, is making them aware of what they are eligible for.
Sure.
And getting it actually to them.
Okay.
Especially in a government service, and you spent, most of your career working for government. I spent all of my career working for government.
Yep.
There's a lot of paperwork involved.
Yes.
My first time applying for benefits for an on-duty injury,
Yeah.
I got a notice back a few months later after I did my paperwork, which told me, as far as we can tell, you were only in the service for 2 weeks and are not eligible for benefits. And so it's frustrating.
Right.
And the difference, and I had no idea, okay, how do I fix this?
Right.
And I actually gave up on getting benefits for a few years. And then when I got more involved with our Legion post, I'd like, okay, I'm going to go out to the VAC, and this is before I was a commissioner, and see if they can help me. And they were like, okay, there's a whole lot of steps of appeals and forms and things that I never knew I could get because I'm not an expert.
Sure.
That's what our VSO is, Veteran Service Officer. He knows all the rules. They can get the benefits and they can get it started. And if you take a lot of people, especially, who don't even have the government experience that we do, just getting that through that paperwork and finding out what you're eligible for and then actually get them to give it to you is a big leap. And that's what we're there to do. We're there to help anybody with whatever service they need to do. And we know, and our staff knows how to process the paperwork. Don't ask me for the paperwork details. Ask me, who can I get a hold of and how?
Sure.
And then I'll get you there because they're the experts.
Yeah, Mark, you bring up a great point, and that's how we try to run our local government here in New Lenox. People, something that's very simple to us because we do this day in and day out, they have no idea. No. And so we stress with our staff, and our staff does a great job of that. When somebody calls, we may not be the answer, but we should help them get the answer.
Absolutely.
Instead of just saying, well, no, that's not us, it's somebody else. Let's help them get to that other person.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's what you're doing. That's a big part of what you're doing.
That's the first step to get them to the point where they realize there is help, and the government, just because it's government entity doesn't mean they're not going to get any help. It means that we're just everyday working stiffs that go out there and do a job with no pay, because we have nobody in the volunteer staff, commissioners, that get paid anything for doing the volunteer work we do. We do it strictly just like we do for the veterans organizations. We do it all because we're veterans advocates. We've been there. I might add that this whole thing started basically with the VACs, especially in Illinois, after the Vietnam War. Probably 10 years after the war, up into the 80s, when Vietnam veterans wasn't getting any help. The suicide rates at that time was more like 100 a day, and if they weren't committing suicide, they were committing suicide through alcohol and drugs. Sure. And there was nobody to help them.
Right.
The guy sitting at the bar was the only guy they had to talk to. And Vietnam veterans like myself decided that we had a choice. Either we could do that and go along with the everyday crowd, or we could try to change it for our future, for our children and our grandchildren, and make it so there is no thanks and spat on and so on. When we got back, we said, this is a mission that we can do, and we can pull it together. And by golly, across the country in the United States, Vietnam veterans pulled together, and we finally got control of the veterans organizations because the World War II veterans didn't like us. Mm-hmm. We finally got control of those organizations, and we started making a platform for our sons and grandsons and granddaughters that they could rely on when they come back. There would be no more of that they could be taken care of. And if they wasn't, we would fight for it. Yeah. And that's what we've done.
Well, it's amazing when you think about that and you talk about Vietnam. I mean, I'm 60 years old, and as a child, Vietnam ended when I was 9, essentially. Yes, 8, 9 years old. I remember a couple people from my neighborhood, older guys from my neighborhood who went. But think about it, anyone younger than me has no appreciation for what your generation, what your group went through, service members went through when they came back, of just how horrible it was.
It was.
And we have so many veterans like yourself that are still in need of help and need support.
Absolutely.
That it took many, many years to even start doing anything
Absolutely.
For our veterans.
Yes, sir.
So God bless you guys for what you do. We really appreciate it. You've got some other things. Of course, you've got vans, including one with the wheelchair lift. You can get people transportation for medical services. So there's just, between food and helping with jobs and helping with shelter and all of this stuff, the biggest issue I would imagine is that so many people probably in need don't even know that you exist.
Correct.
So how do we do? We've got an obligation. I mean, this is a podcast, and we'll put it out there, and we'll do what we can do. But even as the mayor of a town, I'm obviously involved with our V&R Legion, and I participate in the walks and do all that. But we really have to do a better job of getting out to those veterans who maybe don't know that these services are available. As you said, you went a couple years without getting what you were entitled to. So how do we do that? How do we really do that while still putting pressure on politicians in Springfield and in Washington, reminding them that the need is continuing?
Well, I think we pound the streets, that just like we are now with Mark and I here speaking with you. This is a great opportunity to get this out. We won't reach the whole community, but we'll reach a great sector of them that somebody will get some benefit out of it. And if it benefits one person or 100, it doesn't matter. We've done a job that we're proud of. We'll help somebody else be a productive citizen. Maybe their children, that maybe they got the help they need. They have children that have came back from Iraq or Afghanistan, and they're all twisted up from combat and mental health problems and all this. We want those people to come to us. We want those people to feel that they don't have to carry this load on their own. Right. We'll help them carry it.
That's phenomenal.
And that's what we have to do. I have a son that spent 22 years in the Navy. He's retired, a retired chief. His son has been in the Navy for 16 years on the big submarines, and he had one son spent his 6-year obligation in the Marine Corps, now deputy sheriff in South Carolina. So there are people out there that are helping people now all over the country. And I must say, and I think Mark will back me up on this, we consider the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission now to be the best one in the state, maybe in the nation, we don't know. We have pushed for that, we have grown, and we plan on continuing to grow. We have serviced probably maybe 40%, 40 to 45% of the veterans that need help in Will County. We want to make that 100%.
Wow. That's a big number, but like you said, it's a long way to go to get to everybody.
You got to work at it to get it there.
Well, not only can people get the word out, but you are obviously a not-for-profit, a 501c3. People are always looking for ways to make donations to organizations where it doesn't go to some CEO that's making $3 million.
Absolutely.
Here you talk about everybody volunteering their time. How can somebody go about donating and helping out?
We are a governmental agency. You cannot donate cash to us.
Okay.
There is an organization that was formed called Veterans in Partnership, and they can accept cash donations.
Okay.
They have a fundraiser coming up on the 26th of September. VetFest. It's going to be hosted up to Lockport American Legion Post. That's a fundraiser. It's also a veterans event where we bring in every service agency we can find, and you can walk around there, have a burger, sip a pop, and talk to these people and say, hey, these guys have a program that might help me. But they can accept donations. Their sole reason for existence as a 501c3 is to help support our program. So if there's something we need funding for, or if there's some kind of veterans issue that we can't cover, and maybe it's something just like giving a veteran a debit card, with a little amount of money on it so he can use it to get an Uber to go to medical treatment or something if we don't have enough vans.
Or a job interview or something.
Yeah, whatever they need.
Yeah, sure.
And so they can provide those direct options, and a lot of those direct options come with a lot less paperwork than. You don't have to go through us. If you come to VetFest and you say, boy, hey, these can really help me. And some of it is like if you have a dog and you're worried about how you're going to feed your dog because you're worried about how you're going to feed you. There's groups that'll help vets with that.
Yeah, I bet.
So there's kind of something for every need. It's just a matter of getting it to them. And the biggest thing I tell our people every month at our Legion meeting, I have to give a brief, and I tell everybody there, the biggest thing you can do is talk to whatever other person you know. Tell them what we have at the VAC. Tell them how to get a hold of it. If they want to hear more, give me their name and number. I'll give them a call, and I end that call telling them, listen, this is the number you need to call. And they'll ask, well, can I tell them, that you told me to call? Yes, go ahead, use my name.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. They're going to take care of you either way.
Right.
But if, you feel better doing that, give them a call. And for everybody being on this podcast this is going to get our number out because I want to give that at the end if we can here.
Sure you can, yeah.
And I'd like to leave some of these brochures.
We'll put them out there.
Put them out here for you so
time.
people can come get one and get access to the services.
So they can look up the Veterans in Partnership, which is the 501c3. They could probably just Google that, Veterans in Partnership, and that's the way that they can accept cash donations.
They can.
Which will
Right.
then filter and help out for your organization. VetFest, the cookout in September in Lockport. So yes, absolutely, you're welcome to advertise here. We've got places you can put brochures. We'll help you between now and then get the word out as well.
And it's all free.
Yeah, it's all free. I love that. I love to hear that. Plus, like you said, it's not even just a burger, it's the camaraderie, but it's also people with tables, services, that sort of thing. We'll do everything we can to help market this for you because it's so important that our veterans know that this is available to them. So many probably have no idea.
And here in town, you've got Warriors Walk.
Yep.
I work closely with Scott from their board,
Yep.
and they're providing funding for some of the volunteer mental health services that we use.
Amazing.
and I know you touched on it a while ago, but I want to reiterate that
Please.
we do have service vans that will go pick up a vet and take him to his appointment, whether it be a doctor's appointment or a CBOC appointment over Joliet to the community-based outpatient clinic, or Hines Hospital, or Jesse Brown. If he has to go to a hospital, he has no transportation to get there. If he'll call our office and make them aware of it, if we have somebody available to take him, they will take him.
That's great. Well,
And that's at no charge.
and that's phenomenal with everything else you're doing. We want to give out that number. So, Mark, go ahead. You want to give that number out?
Our office number, and this is Monday through Friday, 815-740-8389.
All right. And we will have these brochures at the Village Hall on the second floor available. Anything else that you gentlemen would like to add?
Well, just that our VSOs and our staff, with the exception of 2 people, are all veterans. Most of them are all combat veterans. Our superintendent is a surgical and combat nurse, field nurse, and her husband is a field nurse right now, still in the military. And these people are veterans. They've been through it. They know what they're going through, and they can help them in more ways than just filing their paperwork. They can make them at ease and let them know that they are there to help them. They're not there to draw a paycheck. They're
Right.
there to help them.
That's great. Mark, anything else?
I think we got it covered.
Well, before we go, you're probably familiar with Israel Del Toro. He's a good friend of us, of ours here. He wrote a book, A Patriot's Promise, telling his father, who died when Israel was a young man, that he would take care of his family. Israel signed a couple of books for us, so I'd like to make a donation to both of you of these books.
That's
here.
wonderful,
Enjoy
sir.
it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
If you haven't read his book, please
Thank
do.
you.
And for all of you out there, if you know a veteran, because often veterans suffer in silence.
Absolutely.
If you know a veteran, don't just assume that everything's okay. Make sure that they're aware of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County. Again, you got the number. We've got the brochures here. You can contact our office. We're more than happy to help you if you're looking for ways to make donations to help out. That's the Veterans in Partnership, which is a 501c3. In September, the Vet Fest Cookout in Lockport, all kind of services available. We would encourage you, please. We owe the greatest debt of gratitude and respect to any man or woman that's ever put on the uniform and served our country, that gave selflessly to defend the Constitution. Our veterans, our active service members, do not fight or serve for a person or for a political party. It is to defend the Constitution, the way of life that we are all so blessed to have in the greatest country in the world here. And I'm grateful for both of you men, for your service to our country, for your service to our community, for what you're doing for Will County, and for joining me here today. I appreciate
so
you
much,
much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of Too Honest for Social Media.
Stealing your life away.